Have you ever wondered about the deep historical roots connecting Iran and Israel? It's a story that stretches back thousands of years, filled with empires, exiles, and extraordinary leaders. Let's journey back in time, long before today's headlines, to uncover a shared history that might surprise you. Our story begins over 2,500 years ago, in the heart of the ancient Near East, with a figure who would change the course of history for both peoples: Cyrus the Great. In the 6th century BCE, the Neo-Babylonian Empire was the dominant power. Its king, Nebuchadnezzar II, had conquered the kingdom of Judah, destroyed the first temple in Jerusalem, and forced a significant portion of the Jewish population into exile in Babylon. This was a traumatic period, a time of profound loss and longing for a return to their homeland. Zion, the prophets of the era, spoke of this suffering, but also of a future hope, a promise of redemption. Then, from the east, a new power emerged: the Achaemenid Empire, led by Cyrus the Great. Cyrus was a visionary ruler from Persia, modern-day Iran. He wasn't just a conqueror, he was a unifier and an administrator with a revolutionary policy. Unlike previous emperors, who ruled through fear and suppression, Cyrus believed in tolerance and respect for the diverse cultures and religions within his vast empire. His most famous act, documented in the biblical book of Ezra and on the Cyrus Silanon ancient clay artifact, now in the British Museum, was the Edict of Cyrus. In 539 BCE, after conquering Babylon, Cyrus didn't just free the Jewish exiles. He actively encouraged and funded their return to Judah. He decreed that they could go back to Jerusalem to rebuild their sacred temple. This was an unprecedented act of benevolence. For the Jewish people, Cyrus was seen not just as a liberator, but as an instrument of God, even referred to as God. Anointed One, or Messiah in the book of Isaiah. This incredible moment of Persian-Jewish friendship laid the foundation for the Second Temple period, a crucial era in Jewish history that would last for nearly 600 years. The legacy of Cyrus the Great is etched into the very soul of Jewish memory as a symbol of liberation and respect. Over the centuries, the region saw the rise and fall of many empires: Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, and various Islamic caliphates. The land of Israel, known by many names like Judea and Palestine, was a constant crossroads of civilizations. The Jewish people, despite periods of independence, often found themselves under foreign rule. Following the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans in 70 CE, a widespread diaspora began, scattering Jewish communities across the globe, from Europe and North Africa to the Middle East and beyond. Yet, through millennia of dispersion, the dream of returning to Zion, the ancestral homeland, never faded. It was kept alive in prayers, in rituals, and in the collective consciousness of the people. Meanwhile, Persia, or Iran, also underwent immense transformations. It was the heartland of powerful dynasties like the Parthians and Sassanids, and a center for Zoroastrianism. The Islamic conquest in the 7th century brought profound changes, introducing a new religion and culture that would shape the nation's identity for centuries to come. Through it all, a distinct Persian culture, language, and identity not only survived but flourished, blending with new influences to create a rich and complex civilization. Now, let's fast forward nearly 2.5 millennia from the time of Cyrus. The world is a vastly different place. The 19th and early 20th centuries saw the decline of the Ottoman Empire, which had ruled the Middle East for 400 years, and the rise of new ideas. Nationalism. Across Europe and the Middle East, peoples began to aspire for self-determination and independent nation-states. For the Jewish people, this took the form of Zionism, a political movement founded in the late 19th century by Theodor Herzl. Its goal was simple yet audacious: to re-establish a Jewish homeland in the land of Israel. Zionism was a response to centuries of persecution and anti-Semitism, culminating in the horrific pogroms in Eastern Europe. It was a modern political expression of an ancient, deeply held dream. One of the most pivotal figures in turning this dream into reality was a man named David Ben-Gurion. Born David in Poland in 1886, he was a passionate Zionist from a young age. He emigrated to Ottoman Palestine in 1906, adopting the Hebrew name Ben-Gurion. He was a force of nature, a tireless organizer, a brilliant strategist, and a man with an unshakable vision. He worked on agricultural settlements, co-founded the powerful Histadrut Labor Federation, and became the leader of the Jewish community in Mandatory Palestine, the territory administered by Britain after World War I. Ben-Gurion's leadership was tested time and again. He had to navigate the complex politics of the British Mandate, growing tensions with the Arab population, and internal divisions within the Zionist movement itself. He was pragmatic and principled, sometimes clashing with other leaders over the best path forward. He understood that building a state required more than just ideology. It required institutions, an economy, and a defense force. The Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany during World War II, created an unprecedented moral and political urgency for the establishment of a Jewish state. For the survivors and for Jews worldwide, it was a terrifying confirmation that a sovereign homeland was a matter of survival. In the aftermath of the war, the British decided to terminate their mandate, turning the fate of the land over to the newly formed United Nations. In November 1947, the UN voted to partition the territory into separate Arab and Jewish states. While the Jewish leadership accepted the plan, it was rejected by Arab leaders. The stage was set for a dramatic climax. On May 14, 1948, just as the British mandate expired, David Ben-Gurion stood before a crowd in Tel Aviv and read Israel's Declaration of Independence. It was a moment of immense historical significance, the culmination of a 2,000-year-old dream. Ben-Gurion became Israel's first prime minister, the founding father of the modern state, just as Cyrus the Great had enabled the return to Zion and the rebuilding of the Second Temple. Ben-Gurion led the Jewish people in re-establishing their sovereignty in their ancestral homeland after 2 millennia. Immediately following the declaration, Israel was invaded by 5 neighboring Arab armies. The ensuing conflict, Israel's War of Independence, was a desperate struggle for survival. Ben-Gurion's leadership during this critical time was decisive. He unified the various Jewish paramilitary groups into a single national army, the Israel Defense Forces, and steered the fledgling nation through its perilous birth. If Cyrus the Great was the ancient enabler, a foreign king who facilitated a return, David Ben-Gurion was the modern builder, an insider who forged a nation through sheer will and political acumen. Cyrus's actions were born from a policy of imperial tolerance. Ben-Gurion's were driven by the urgent necessity of national survival and self-determination. Both men, in their own vastly different eras, played monumental roles in the story of the Jewish people and their connection to the land of Israel. Interestingly, during the mid-20th century, the historical connection between Iran and Israel was under the Pahlavi dynasty. Iran was one of the first Muslim-majority nations to recognize the State of Israel. The two countries developed close, albeit quiet, strategic and economic ties. The ancient legacy of Cyrus was often invoked as a symbol of this modern friendship. Of course, the Iranian Revolution of 1979 dramatically altered this relationship, ushering in the complex geopolitical landscape we see today. But history has a long memory. The stories of Cyrus the Great and David Ben-Gurion remind us that the relationship between nations and peoples is never static. It evolves, it changes, and it is often shaped by the visions of extraordinary individuals. From an ancient emperor's decree of liberation to a modern leader's declaration of independence, the journey of these two nations is a powerful testament to resilience, the enduring power of historical memory, and the unyielding dream of a people to return to their home. It's a complex tapestry woven over thousands of years, and understanding these deep threads helps us make better sense of the world we live in today. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical journey. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the events and people that shaped our world. Let me know in the comments which historical figures you'd like to learn about next. See you in the next video.